Welcome back to our Human Trafficking Awareness video series. This week, we would like to talk to you about gender misconceptions in human trafficking and how human trafficking impacts the LGBTQ plus communities. First, we'd like to do a little activity. Let's say you're watching the news. The newscaster says, "Up next, a story on teen prostitution." As you consider the words teen prostitution, what thoughts, images, and words fill your mind? Feel free to take a second to pause the video as you think.
Now, you're watching the news and the newscaster says, "Up next, a story on human trafficking." As you consider the words human trafficking, what thoughts, images, and words fill your mind? Feel free to take a second to pause this video as you think.
What were the differences that came to mind when you heard teen prostitution versus human trafficking? I know for me, when I think about how the media and teen prostitution, I think about a white girl standing on a street corner dressed in a mini skirt and tank top. When I hear the media and human trafficking, I think of a young brown girl who's wearing dirty clothes, maybe dirt on their face, with a tear running down their cheek.
I see a different image. When I hear the term teen prostitute, I picture a rebellious teenage girl of color walking down the streets, choosing to sell her body. When I hear the term human trafficking, I picture a young white girl who's been taken against her will, looking scared and hopeless. It's important to think about the biases we have and the pictures that come up when we hear words like teen prostitute or human trafficking. In reality, teen prostitution is human trafficking.
Something that we had in common when we pictured teen prostitution or human trafficking is that we both saw young females. I imagine it was the same for a lot of you as well.
There's a common misconception that males are not victims of sex trafficking. This is false. Oftentimes, males are considered willing participants of sex trafficking instead of victims. There's a lack of resources for male victims as well. There tend to be female-identified only organizations for survivors, and even some of the all-gender organizations that provide resources for male victims too are not always equipped to adequately serve male survivors.
It's important to remember that boys too can be and are victims of human trafficking. A study conducted in 2001 asked homeless and runaway youths ages 12 to 21 if they had ever traded sex for something of value. The study found that 53% of the participants who said they had been sexually exploited were males. Another population that is often left out of the conversation when it comes to human trafficking is the LGBTQ plus community. According to the Administration for Children and Families, LGBTQ plus youth are being trafficked at alarming rates.
Although the LGBTQ plus community only makes up 3 to 5% of the population, 40% of homeless youth identify as LGBTQ plus. And as a homeless youth, LGBTQ plus individuals are 3 to 7 times more likely than non-LGBTQ plus youth to engage in survival sex to meet their basic needs. Thank you for taking the time to watch and learn. We'll see you next week with a new video.